Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me today. Thanks to organization for this and welcome our guests. It's my pleasure to be here today. Okay, so guys, let me start with self-introduction first. I'm in crypto from 2017, sort of like a veteran, as some people saying. So I've been in the last bull market, then bear market, then bull market and bear market again. So actually, it's quite a lot of fun on the way. And I'm a founding partner of Cryptomeria Capital. So personally, I invested more than 150 projects in the space since the 2017. Same time, I'm a co-founder of Cointelegraph China. And we also have quite a good ecosystem of other companies in our portfolio. So it's my pleasure to be here, and I'll give it time to our guests to introduce themselves. So we start with Elias.
Hi, my name is Elias. I am CEO of Encryptus and investor as well in the company. I've been in the space for over a decade, mining, trading, and investing in startups.
Yeah, thank you. So Nitin?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Nitin over here from Panaroma Finance. We have a complete ecosystem of multiple products, centralized exchange, decentralized and swap exchange. I carry an experience of more than 12 years into the finance and 7 years in the crypto industry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And Cihan?
Hello everyone, my name is Cihan Sasmaz. I'm the CEO and founder of MetaRuffy International FZCO. We are building our own ecosystem. We started with our first product, Ruffy World, which is a metaverse with a focus on the entertainment and education sector. Our second product is Loobr. It's a cross-chain social network NFT marketplace.
Yeah, thank you so much for self-introduction. And our topic for today, institutionalization of crypto, right? So I'm recalling the times when in 2017, actually, for me, I was just dreaming about the time, thinking it's going to be definitely a good times when, some big companies like a Visa or JP Morgan or whatever you name, some like giant companies, like giant corporates, or if Facebook come, but now we have not even Facebook, but Meta, that they will come and support crypto, because for us, for someone who is early in the space, it was quite important for, to feel this sort of like a support and power of big companies also to join the space. Now we have all of the things, right? So what I want to ask is, how do you think, let's start with a simple question first, right? So how do you think, what's the current stage of the institutionalization of crypto? So do we already well institutionalized, or we just on the beginning stage? And how do you see this trend? So it's moving fast or it's slowed down? What's your take on it?
I think it's still in its infancy because the regulatory frameworks are not yet clear. The products in the market are not yet serving the institutions and their requirements. So some institutions are still holding back also because of how difficult it is to find talent in the market who will manage the whole operations. So it is still in its infancy, I think.
Okay.
I think you need to repeat the question because it was not that clear for us.
So what's the current stage of the institutionalization of crypto? So is it early stage or it's already well established?
I would say it's still in a very slow stage at the moment, because the acceptance of institutions coming to the crypto is not that huge as expected, in other fields if we see them, how it's going currently, I would say.
Thank you.
I had a chance of, let's say, I have a privilege of a lot of friends of mine are working for big consultant companies, Deloitte, PwC, Ernst & Young, etc. When I talk to them, and they are really heavily working with all these top companies, and in every discussion I'm hearing out that all these big players, all these gigantic concerts are investing billions of dollars into crypto space. I'm not talking about buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm talking about using that decentralization, that the software of blockchain, or integrating that in their existing systems. I think what we see right now is the result of the work of for 3 years ago. And in the next years, we will see what all these gigantic companies worked in the last years. I think we are in a very good path. I see definitely we are very close to mass adoption. I mean, we have so many utilities of crypto assets which we can utilize in the real world. I think we are definitely going in the right direction, and it's faster than we think, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And my next question will be about the current situation. Let's say the situation which happened in April this year. So all of us, we've been victims. We saw what happened with the Terra Luna, right? So one of the stable coins, which actually was depegged, and after that was a crash of it. So many institutions, actually big companies, were involved, and right now they are suffering from the impact after this situation. So how do you think this situation is influencing on the market if other institutions right now are, let's say, more cautious to get inside of crypto and still waiting for another, let's say, like a policies to come, or another, let's say, DeFi 2.0 to come, or what's your take on it? So how this situation, how the market crash and exactly this situation impacting the approach of the institutions to the crypto?
I think we saw some institutions jumping ship after when Luna Foundation guard started to offload their coins. Created a lot of sell pressure, so other institutions started to sell as well. But actually, it reminds me of the days of Mangox when it happened. Everyone was screaming, "Bitcoin is dead; it will never recover." We entered, you remember these days yourself. We entered a very long bear market. But one thing about the crypto industry, it's very resilient. The community is very strong, and people believe in it. So it always finds a way to make a comeback. And one good side effect we had from Mangox was that regulators stepped in and made exchanges more. They created more customer protection, client protection for people who are using exchanges. And right now, if we compare exchanges that are right now in the market to back in the days Mangox, it's a huge difference in terms of how assets are protected, how they are regulated, and so on. So I believe we will see the same thing for stablecoins as well, where the regulators will start to take notice of what happened with Terra, and they will force them basically to improve, so that we can see what happens with exchanges. We will see later with stable coins, in my opinion.
Right, thank you so much. Nitin?
Yeah. So as we are aware, like these stable coins which are created, they are based on algorithms. These algorithms are written by developers, which are prone to a lot of bugs, errors or something. Calculation, they might seem they are right, but they might be wrong also. Being a developer, I myself, I'm always confident on my code. But I would say audits are required. That would actually create a trust, which is very important. And again, the Luna crisis which happened, okay, this could have been avoided. That's what I believe, if there was a regulatory body involved, or if we had certain kind of audits been completed on a regular basis, it would have been a better scenario. And again, if we have to say a control, if there would have been some kind of community control or a third-party control on the smart contract itself, when the crisis started initially, the first step would have taken, before the whole thing getting more worse, I would say. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I think education is also here the key. A lot of people didn't know that UST, the stable coin of Luna, was not a stable coin, was an algo stable coin. It was like backed with other cryptocurrencies. So I think we need more transparency for all the new people who are joining the crypto space. A lot of people are joining the crypto space, but because of the possibility of anonymity, or you can create a wallet, you can create 100 wallets today, you can be everyone tomorrow or today, and there is no like real track record. And if new people don't see that, so I think that what happened with Terra Luna, I think that can happen with all these algo stable coins. I'm not for it, I'm not against it, but I think we need, in that case, more transparency to clear the people up what kind of substance the token or the coin or whatever is. I mean, at the end of the day, theoretically, the idea was good, but it didn't work out in that financial situation where we are right now. At the end of the day, we are in a bear market. Not just crypto is like bleeding right now. The whole industry, the whole traditional markets, the stock market, so we are right now on the worldwide recession. And you see in this kind of situations which business models are strong enough to sustain and to exist till to the next bull run or bull market.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So my next question will be about regulations, because I think all of you guys sort of like mentioned that. And recently, just today on Cointelegraph, I saw the news that Bitcoin outperforming any other asset class during like this period of time, which actually shows a strength of the crypto community, of the Bitcoin, and definitely I do believe, plus I'm also talking with some institutions, they have very strong interest to buy Bitcoin. So talking about regulations, do you think it's enough regulations right now, according to your experience, right? So we're not experts here in the like how to regulating, how to like make a compliance, right? But according to your experience, how you do it in your companies or maybe like in your circle, is it enough regulations right now for big institutions, for like a pension funds, for the biggest and largest asset managers to get into the crypto on a full time, or we still need to have some like more transparency on that? More, like, let's say, like a next step of the regulations, which should be issued by the major countries in the world. Yeah, what do you think about that?
So I can answer that question as Encryptus is a regulated entity. We have multiple licenses in different jurisdictions, so we work with many regulators from different jurisdictions, and we see how they see this market and how they want to make sure that it offers protection to consumers and institutions who also wants to invest in this field. What we have seen in the institutional space who wants to invest in crypto is they want to make sure that the coins that they get are clean. So that's why we work with KYT companies to make sure that every coin that goes to the institution has been inspected, it's clean. And this brings me to the point that we want regulations. We want to make sure that those institutions do get clean coins. They do work with regulated companies like Encryptus. But at the same time, we don't want to go too far into the regulations so that crypto uses its distinct advantage as a pseudo-anonymous asset which people can transact over the internet. So.
Right, thank you. Nitin, you have a question?
Can you repeat it for me, the question again?
Yeah, it's a little bit echo here.
Yeah,
so
echo.
I'm saying that right now the regulations is enough. Is it good enough for institutions to get to crypto, or we're still on the way to do it?
It's still in the growing phase. Like, if I have to say about institutionalization, like specifically, it has to yet be more stronger because it will stabilize things. And like, if we have to get it on a faster phase, things have to grow better. Like, the technology itself has to be on a better phase. That's when it will happen. That's it.
I think when we are talking about institutional investors or institutional money, they don't need regulation. Because when they are professional in their field, they know what they're doing. They're like sharks against sharks. I think we need regulation when it becomes you and me, people who are, for example, new to the crypto space, to protect them. A regulation should have a protection. But I think to protect, just regulation to have a control about the currency or about the technology, I'm not a friend of that. But I'm definitely for protection of new people who are joining the crypto space. I mean, when we look at the street, all the people who have a driver license and driving a car on the streets are regulated, and that opens the gate for mass adoption, right? We can only allow millions or billions of people into the new technology when we can be sure that they are protected with any kind of mechanism. It doesn't have to be regulation. It could also be like education could also be the key in that thing. Regulation is just protecting to get a bad experience with crypto. That is how I see the things. I'm not a friend of regulation, but I think to protect, we need some.
Right, right. Thank you so much. So it's a very good topic, and I want to know, institutionalization is a very wide topic, actually, right? So it's not only about institutional investors, but it's also about, let's say, Web2 companies transferring the users to the Web3. What you do in your companies to more institutionalize your business, let's say, and how do you think for more, let's say, regulated, institutionalized, because in crypto we have so many niches. We have metaverse, we have NFTs, we have cryptocurrency itself as the payment solution. We have so many different varieties. What do you think should be more regulated and institutionalized, and where we should have more freedom, more decentralized, more like a Web3 approach? What's your take on it, and what is in your companies? How you do with that?
I think in the exchange sector, in the custody sector, we definitely needs to be regulated because, for example, if we are a prime broker for institutions, if such companies are run by shady people, that's opened the floodgate for money laundering, for a lot of financial crime. So that has to be regulated as it is now. I think right now there is enough regulation in that regard. The second one, which I think should be regulated, is crypto custody, because if the company is not being vetted well and not being regulated well, the owners can just take the coins and disappear, for example, and they can just run away with the coins, like it happened in the past. But right now we see that regulation is actually improving the market in that aspect. And I think the ones which should have less regulations is, let's say, games and metaverses. Because I think it's impossible to regulate a metaverse. Like, if I go to the metaverse and I have my land, I have my place, and I put illegal pictures, how are you gonna find that person? How are you gonna get the IP address? And if someone comes to my land and puts something illegal, am I responsible for that, or is the person who was there before? Nobody knows. I think it's impossible to regulate metaverse, but the other aspects like custody, exchanges can and has to be regulated, in my opinion.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I would say a regulation, like institutions, if they are regulated, it's really important because they have huge funds. Those huge funds can actually manipulate the sentiments of the market too, which has to be controlled. And secondly, if they are regulated, if there's a stronger regulation, it will actually help in multiple ways, because end individual will also be aware how it has to be dealt in, and institutionalization will be much more faster on a better rapid pace because they will be clear how they need to move forward. Their strategy could be very well planned. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you ask the question again, please, for me?
Right. So the question is, how do you think institutionalization of the crypto, because it's a very wide topic. So according to your experience and what you do in your company, which niche should be more institutionalized in crypto? Like, let's say, exchange or brokerage or, let's say, metaverse or NFT. So what's your take on it? Let's be more specific in the crypto space.
I think definitely exchanges should be institutionalized, and I think when we are talking about regulation in institution or what exactly?
No, I think which part of crypto space of the whole Web3 should be more institutionalized, right? So
yeah, I think definitely exchanges, brokerage, that should be institutionalized. I think this industry needs the power of the institutionalization to protect also the small investors.
Okay, so Nitin, you want to add something?
Yeah, so basically I think exchanges, myself I believe, okay, because it's really important, because exchanges have huge custody of funds from end individuals and at the same time from institutions. So they need to be regulated for sure. That's how I would say.
Right. So I think we have just a few minutes left. So one of my last questions, and probably the last one. My personal take on it, institutionalization and where we're going, right? So of course, even so many years in crypto, I want it to be fully decentralized. We have these libertarian things, you know, behind that when the Bitcoin white paper just published. It's very interesting actually, and it's also somehow correlated with the whole society, with how we interact with each other. But what I see at the moment, how the trend is going, I don't really believe that the whole thing will be decentralized, fully Web3, let's say, sort of decentralized. Maybe in 10 years, 15 years, we will see a huge growth of the mass adoption. At the same time, maybe, I cannot say exactly, but my personal opinion, like 15%, 20% will be fully decentralized. Anonymous names, you know, everyone just using avatars, etc. But the rest part, this is exactly what I think institutional part of crypto. It's going to be CBDCs, it's going to be huge companies, probably, which already exist or maybe who are just starting the journey into the crypto. But it will be fully regulated, compliant, transparent, actually what exactly we have in the financial sector right now. But it's going to be much bigger, and the amounts of money in this part will be much bigger, which is also good, right? So people probably feel more comfortable with being transparent and regulated. So my question on this, how do you think institutionalization of crypto is good or bad? So what's your vision a little bit longer than, let's say, like the next few years? Yeah, so that's my question.
I think institutionalization of crypto will bring a lot of benefits. First of all, liquidity. And second, it will make the space more legitimate. For example, if institutions become very serious about DeFi, we will see regulators start to take DeFi more seriously, and we will see less and less rug pulls in DeFi. And when that starts to happen, even retail investors who were less confident about using DeFi, they will start also joining in, because they will see, okay, if JP Morgan is using a DeFi protocol, it has to be legit, so I'm going to go there and participate myself. So institution will actually increase retail adoption as a side effect. Another thing which I think can happen in the future is that you can see money managers and like pension funds acquiring crypto directly, not just through proxies like now they through, like they go buy corporate bonds of crypto companies, or they go buy stocks of mining companies, Bitcoin mining companies. In the future, it might be possible that these big entities, which have trillions assets under management, they will start to actually buy physical Bitcoin and put it in their balance sheet. We'll see if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
So basically, I would say institutionalization of crypto is going to make the space more better, okay, and it's required because this will make a better offerings available for retail investors as well, because it will be a competition, I would say, you know, because they have to be offered with better products, better pricing, better transparency. And again, these institutionalization would also mean a lot of tokenization happening. A lot of asset classes would be tokenized at the same time, and this would create a bigger space. You know, if we have, say, for example, one institution offering just a dollar fiat, you know, dollar-based system, but if there are multiple others, it's much more better because there is a possibility where, you know, like there's a comfort zone with the regulator itself in which jurisdiction you're going to be maintaining everything. And tokenization, I would say, which is the best part, which creates a transparency, would be also promoted to users because that would be their interest more than getting into a trading part. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I couldn't hear the question. Can you say that again, please?
So the question is, what's your long-term vision on the institutionalization of the whole space, cryptocurrency or Web3, how it's more like a called right now?
So I think decentralization, you have a lot of pros, but you have also cons. I think the problem here is when we are talking about gambling, pornographic stuff or adult stuff or whatever, that has to be definitely controlled by an institution or something like that. When we want to protect children, younger generation age or people like that, we can't go for full decentralization. I think that is also, cyber mobbing is also a very big thing because we are in the social network industry. We can't go for full decentralization and say, hey, everybody can post what they want. That is, for example, in a deep web, that is fully decentralized. Everybody can do what they want. There's no regulation. There's nothing. It could turn to a very dangerous stage. In the theory, it sounds good. No one has the control and everything. But I think a governance solution with a DAO, like a decentralized autonomous organization, or where we all can vote together and vote for activities or regulations, that could be something very attractive, I think. And yeah, I think this decentralization has also a lot of pros. Like when we are talking about cybersecurity or that kind of stuff, I think that is a very, very thin path where we are working. Institutionalization and decentralization, that is something where we have to look very, very clear. We need the understanding exactly where is it a super pro and which con we have to accept for that technology.
Right, I think you mentioned a very interesting point about DAOs. So do you think DAOs can be also institution, like, you know, it can be like institutionalized DAO, or it's a simply opposite things?
I think with a DAO we are able to vote for something without the fact of manipulation. We saw in the past 10 years a lot of manipulation in the world. And when we use the blockchain technology and the DAO technology, we could all together vote for something and without the risk of manipulated results.
All right. You guys have something to add? Okay, no problem. So I think we just 1 minute left, and correct me if I'm wrong, we still need to have a Q&A session, right? We can do it now. If guys, let me know if you have questions. You just raise your hands and we can ask you. Okay, so far so good. We don't have questions. Seems our topic was very clear. Everyone understand everything so well. So thank you so much for coming today. It's my pleasure to present our topic and invite you guys to our conversation today, to this audience. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.